Alrighty, so I am here at Army Trail School with the principal of Army Trail. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
My name is Rob Tugger. I'm the principal of Army Trail Elementary School.
Excellent, perfect. Well, and thank you for meeting with me today. I just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to our families that are coming in, both new and returning. So first, let me ask you, tell me a little bit about yourself, like your background in education.
So I'm actually starting my 18th year this year. I can't believe it's already been 18 years. This is my 11th year in ASD4. I had 7 years in a previous district.
Gotcha.
11th as administrator. I started my time at Indian Trail as a dean for 4 years. I was an assistant principal for 2 years, and I'm starting my 5th year here as principal of Army Trail. Hope that adds up to 11.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you. And did you originally go to school to get into teaching or?
Yeah, so I was a physical education teacher for 7 years.
And that was in your previous district?
In my previous district, yeah. And I decided I wanted to do more with it, and I went back to school. I got my master's in school administration, and here I am today.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And so what drew you to Addison? What was it about Addison itself that made you want to come out this way?
I didn't realize how far it was when I first came. Really it was an opportunity. That's what it started out as. It was the first opportunity that I received, and I wanted to take advantage of it. And soon after starting here, I really enjoyed my time here. I do drive quite a ways. I live near Midway Airport, so
gotcha.
I do drive quite a ways, and I've never really regretted it or had second thoughts about it over the last 11 years. I've just really enjoyed my time here and working with the people that I work with and the kids. That's most important.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And so, what are your what's one of your favorite things about this community? About the town itself, or about the people, or the families? What is it about Addison that keeps you here?
You always learn something new. There's always something new. There's a lot of history and a lot of stuff that's taken place in this town. You don't really realize until you're here. It is a very self-sufficient community, I guess, in a sense, where people who live here stay here. They want to live here. They stick around. A lot of the teachers that we have grew up here, did their student teaching here, became teachers here.
I'll add myself to that list.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. There's more, I think, than not, and it's changed over the last few years. But that's one thing that's always surprised me: the number of people that have stayed around and have such a long heritage here in the community.
Right. You definitely see generations of families coming down through Addison, which is great. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Anything you'd like to share?
Well, I have 3 kids. I have he's going to be in 6th grade this year.
Oh, wow.
I have a daughter, Emily, going into 3rd grade, and my last daughter, Lainey, she is going into 4-year-old preschool.
Oh, very nice.
And Andrew's my oldest. They keep us very busy. My son plays baseball and football. We're gearing up for football season right now.
Very nice.
Emily is into gymnastics and softball, so she keeps us busy. And Lainey is into everything. Yeah. So she's going to start school full time this year. So they keep us busy. But when we're not doing sports, we love being outside, fishing. Everybody gives me a hard time. The Luke Bryan song, hunting, fishing, loving every day. Yes. That's kind of us. Where cool. My roots are from the South. I grew up in Missouri. A transplant to the Chicago area. I've lived here longer now than I've lived anywhere else. But we love being outside.
When did you move up from Missouri?
When I was 15.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Very
so
nice.
Went to high school for the most part up here. But you can't get rid of your roots in your childhood and growing up.
Absolutely.
Playing in the woods and in the gullies and riding bikes everywhere. So it's a little bit different now for my kids growing up. But we try to give them as much of that experience as we can. So.
That's awesome. That's so cool that you're able to connect with them like that. And especially now that your son is getting into junior high, that's a whole new world, right? So it's nice that he's able to kind of ask you questions and all that. That's great. So let me ask you about Army Trail now. So what is it about Army Trail that makes this school so special?
The school is special because of the students that we serve. the students that we serve are so appreciative of the education that we give them, and the families as well. And that's not to say that other families aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is. There's an amount of trust here that parents trust us to do what we think is right for their kids. And if they have concerns, they come and they talk with us and they
Right.
bring them up. But for the most part, they trust and they support whatever it is that we're doing. If we're doing some sort of activity for the kids and we ask for donations, the office will be piled up with juice boxes and treats and different things for them.
Wow, yeah.
So I think the support that we receive overall is probably one of the greatest aspects of Army Trail.
That's amazing, and that's honestly one of my favorite things about Addison that I've been seeing is that just this, there is a big sense of community here,
Mm-hmm.
and people really do support the schools and support the people that work at the schools, and that's really important. So thank you for sharing. So talking about the upcoming school year, what's something or some things that families should be getting excited about for this next school year?
I think the biggest thing is that it's year 2 back to normal, or
Yes.
what we hope is going to be normal. I think I can speak for myself as not only as a school administrator and as a parent. The last 3 years have probably been the toughest of anybody's lives, raising kids beyond even the COVID and all that. Just the impact that it's had on at home and school. So really keep that in focus. And I think one of the things that drives me the most is that I have school-age kids, and I have a daughter who was in kindergarten when schools got shut down, and I've seen the effects and the impacts of what transitioning school to home look like and what happened. So I always keep that in focus, and I always joke when I come up with a plan or have something called the Emily plan, because I've seen her struggles in school and what that impacted in those most critical years, that last part of kindergarten and into first grade and then into second grade. That's when you learn to read.
Right.
And, we see her struggle with that, and she works very hard and is overcoming that, but I use that as my gauge, because I want to be able to help anybody else that's in that same situation. So we're really looking at how can we help make that transition, and what can we do differently,
Right.
because what we've done in the past isn't necessarily going to meet our needs now, coming out of what we've come out of. And I think we're to the point where we can stop saying, oh, COVID, and blaming it all. Let's just get down to business and say, what do we need to do, where are we at, and how can we address this? And we're going into the second year of our pilot for intervention, where we've done some really innovative things with our intervention program and meeting the needs, or hopefully meeting the needs of as many students as possible. We've also realized that we kind of have to go back to the basics in some regards. When school was at home, the rules and the expectations and kind of the playing school idea kind of got lost because it looks so different. So this year, school-wide, we're going with continuing with our PBIS model, but actually implementing and integrating a CHAMPS model with it as well.
Okay.
And CHAMPS just takes it a step further and makes sure that we're explicitly telling students what we want from them, or what we need from them, or what we expect from them. So,
Gotcha.
and there's CHAMPS is an acronym for conversation, help, academics, movement, participation, and then success.
Oh, great.
So we define what does conversation look like. So there's no guessing. It's very defined that conversation is this,
Yes.
or this is how I ask for help, to really help students and also teachers communicate with each other, but also get rid of some of that other stuff and just focus on, here's what we need, let's get down to business.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that sounds great for families as well, because then they have clear-cut expectations of what to expect coming to school. And I'm sure our families really appreciate having somebody that they can feel that they can connect with on that personal level, in terms of, well, we're going through this experience, but you've just gone through this experience
Right.
as well. So that must be really reassuring to them. So
I hope so. We're all in the same situation. So,
yes.
Not to say that anybody else who hasn't been in that situation doesn't have the perspective, but living it, on both sides, as a school principal and as a dad.
Yes.
It really makes you shift your mindset and makes you reestablish what priorities should be.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And then lastly, I just want to say if there's anything you'd like to say to incoming Army Trail families for next year, both new and returning families, feel free to say whatever you'd like.
Well, we're looking forward to the 2022-2023 school year with all returning and new families, welcoming new kindergartners and any new families that have moved into the community. And what you can expect from us is our best every day. We make mistakes along the way, but we do everything that we can to make sure that we meet all the needs of students, families, and help in any way that we can. We're a phone call away or stop by the office. So we look forward to working with not only the students, but the families and the Army Truck community at large. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tucker.
Yep.
And thanks for meeting with us.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to next year.
Yep. Thank you.